First of all, everybody, welcome back to the PT Sportcast, and thank you, everybody in the audience, for coming in live. Feel free to put questions in the chat and at me or Shroom, and we'll make sure we write them down and try to get them answered. Yeah, we got Platy today, the Platy Daddy, the man, the myth, the legend himself.
How we doing?
Good. Kind of what I was thinking we would do. I sent it to you guys already, but just so that listeners can kind of follow along. Want to get into who you are, who's the guy behind the handle, who is Platy. Then we'll kind of jump into how you found cultivation, and then how that turned into building a community, what the journey's been like with that, where we're at today, and what's the future of PT.
Sounds good.
So, yeah, man, with that, first of all, how do you feel right now about being on your own podcast thing?
Yeah, I don't know. I never thought I'd be the one on it. I thought I might be the one hosting it, but you do a pretty good job of that. I don't really need to. Yeah, it's weird. I suppose it's weird talking to people that we talk to, like hearing their stories and stuff. But as far as me being on there, like I said to you, I'm confused why anyone would want to listen to it. But yeah, it's good to be here.
You're an interesting guy, man. I don't know. I think so anyways. I'm sure a lot of other people do.
I appreciate it.
So what are some things that you do? Like, I want to I think it'd be cool for myself and others to kind of understand who you are outside of Myco stuff. Like, who really are you? Maybe what are some hobbies you have, some things you do outside of PT, and yeah.
PT's probably became. PT's kind of built around me in a sense. Like it started off obviously mycology, because that was a hobby at the time, but it's more just mycology's just become a lifestyle more than a hobby. I don't think about it as a hobby sort of thing. If I thought about it as a hobby, I'd worry about the money and stuff that you're putting into it and what have you. But I don't think like that at all, because it's just the way I am. It's who I am. It caught hold of me pretty fucking hard, and yeah, it just took over. Obviously, outside I've started doing beekeeping. I suppose I would class as one of my hobbies. I started that last year, which was kind of a lot like mycology in a sense. That everybody seems to have an opinion about how you should beekeep, but there's no really. It's a matter of the hives telling you what's going on. It's a bit like in mycology in a sense, like you have to. It's about reading the substrate. It's about reading the cake and seeing what it's telling you. Beekeeping's a lot similar. It's all about, as each stage that you go through the hives, it's about understanding what they're doing, and by what they're doing, you can kind of try and get your next step of where you need to go with it. In a sense, yeah. I'll just dive into that, like, just for an example. So I've got one hive at the minute which is absolutely thriving, and then I've got another hive which there's the queen in there, but she's not doing what she should be doing. So she's not laying, basically. But she's in there, but I can't find her. And the way that I know that she's in there is by reading the hive. So, for example, like if there's no queen, or they'll make emergency queen cells to raise a larvae into their own queen, whereas this hive's not doing that. So they think they've got a queen as far as they're concerned. However, there's no eggs, there's no larvae, there's nothing going on in there. So that's what I mean by reading the hive. That's what told me she was in there. Whereas I was going on the basis that because there was no eggs, then that I don't have a queen. So I bought a replacement queen to put into the hive because there was no eggs. They killed that queen.
Oh,
Well, because as far as they're concerned, they've got one, so it's an intruder.
yeah.
So yeah, they killed her, and then I took another brood frame which has got larvae and eggs in different stages, and I put that inside the hive that was struggling. So they should have drawn those out into queen cells. So, and because they didn't, that then gave me the next step that, as far as they're concerned, there is one in there, but she's not laying. So now it's a matter of sifting through to try and find her, because I'd have to get her out and squash her because she's either poorly mated or I don't know. Yeah, she's just shit at her job, I suppose. Um,
Fair enough.
but yeah, but the thing is, I'm kind of pushing the 2 months without a queen, without a laying queen, and that's now. I'm getting to the stage where the old ones will start dying off. So either I find this queen and get rid of her and try and get them to draw a new queen out, or I'll lose the whole hive and I'll have to start from scratch again. But where I was going with that, when I was saying that beekeeping is a lot like mycology. Everybody's got an opinion. Like the amount of people that have told me, no, you need to do this. No, you need to do that. No, it's this. No, don't do that. You'll fuck it up, or you fuck this up, or whatever. And the more and more you keep doing it, the more and more you realise that it's all really dependent on what their hive is doing. So, and that's the same as within mycology. It's all what's going in and going on in your area or where you are in your growth. You could follow somebody's advice all the way through, but that doesn't mean you're going to get the same results.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I'm curious what it is that got you into beekeeping.
Basically, my boss, he came to me one day and said, we're getting some hives. And I said to him, are we fuck? And he said to me, no, you need to find me somewhere to put them. So basically, at my work, we've got, it's a couple of acres, like land. We're kind of spaced out. So I found somewhere to put these hives. He said to me, we've got somebody's going to come in and maintain them. Someone's going to do this. And like, you're not going to have to do anything at all. And I went, all right, sweet. That suits me. Because my job's busy enough as it is sometimes. And anyway, this guy came in, dropped off the hives, put the thing in, and then he came over to me and he went, "You're going to need this," and he gave me this beekeeping suit and what have you. And he went. So obviously, I picked it all up, gone into my governor's office, and said to him, like, "What's going on?" The guy's just disappeared. He's not coming back. And he went, "Oh no, yeah." He said he could only drop them off. So I'm going to need somebody to do it. So yeah, with that, obviously, that's when he said, I just said to him, no, I'd do it. I mean, I was always
Yeah.
interested in bees and what they do. And without them, we wouldn't be here. So,
Right.
yeah, so I took on the challenge basically. And he had this guy that was coming in, and he'd come in once a week in the beginning. And he basically was showing me what to do, like each week. We'd have a look through the hive. He taught me through it, like what they were doing, kind of teaching me how to read the hive. And then we got to the winter, and you have to kind of put them into a dormancy. So we put them into dormancy, and then you don't need to go down there. Like every couple of weeks, you can go in the hives just to see, make sure they're doing what they're doing, and you feed them basically, give them sugar water. And then, yeah, then my governor decided that the bees were asleep, so we didn't need him. So he cancelled the guy that was training me. And
Jeez.
from there, he just said, you're on your own. And so, yeah, from there, I joined some servers on Discord, and I speak to, like a couple of things on Reddit, and I joined like a local beekeeping community. Yeah, and kind of just, I'm winging it, to be honest with you. I'm not even
Yeah.
going to lie to you. Like some days I'll go down there and I think, I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing. Like, I don't know what I'm looking for, but once you get in there, it kind of just becomes almost like a second nature. You just kind of feel what you got to do, and yeah,
You're
the
learning through
satisfaction comes.
experience.
Yeah, it's all through experience. Yeah, it's bit like anything in life. You have to pretend to be able to do something until you can do it.
Yeah, I get that. I can see that your like your knowledge and your experience with the mycology stuff kind of helping you with that, and probably in a ton of other areas in your life as well.
Oh, it changed my life. Yeah.
Um, that's awesome, dude. So, I'm from that. I'm wondering what. I guess we can move forward with what got you into cultivation. Like, where did that start?
Um, it's about probably it was weird. The first time I ever tried it was at a friend's birthday party. It's like a 30th, so I think it was his 30th, maybe I think maybe 35. I was about 35, and I went to this this party. Somebody had mushrooms, and I don't know, maybe about a gram and a half, maybe. I don't know. It was just a couple of mushrooms. They were cubes of some description. Obviously, I know that now. At the time, I didn't know, didn't have a clue. Um, and it was just like it was a sense of relief. Just I didn't have no crazy visuals or vortexes opening up or fucking going into other realms or anything. That obviously came a lot later. But at the time during this party, I was just sat in the garden and I just felt this overwhelming sense of like relief, almost like my body just relaxed. And I think that was the first time I'd ever actually felt relaxed. Um, and then from there, something just gripped hold of me. I needed to know what it was, so I started researching. And then from there, obviously, trying to source my own. That was more difficult than it seemed than it should have been. So I found these little kits. I went to Amsterdam and I was walking past this shop. Me and my wife was in Amsterdam for a weekend, and we walked past this little shop, and in the window it had these they were like plastic containers, and it was like a already colonized cake. And yeah, so I bought a couple of those, and I grew them at home. You sort of put them in a bag with some water, put them on a heat mat, and they just do their own thing, really. Within sort of like 15 days, you got your first flush. Then
That's cool.
you can soak it and you can flush it again. I think the most flushes I had out of it was like 6. It weren't like they're not like massive yields or anything like that, but obviously it's just for myself, so it's more than enough. And
Right.
during this time, I'm trying to while I'm doing those, obviously I'm on Reddit and I'm on Facebook and all these other joining all these other groups and servers, and I just sort of yeah, again like I do with the bees, is just I just winged my way through it. Really, I learned how to make grain. To be fair, no, actually that's a lie. My first so I fruited those. I did about 15 of those kits. I ended up because you can
Oh
buy them
man.
online, get them sent to you. I did about 15 of those kits. I think I grew everything that they had. Um, and then I found like Uncle Ben's Reddit page. So I thought, I'll try that. So I started doing the 90-second rice bags. Did a couple of grows of those, which it was all right. I mean, the rice was doing those right. It's kind of hit and miss. Some of it works, some of it doesn't. Um, and then, yeah, from there, I learned how to make my own grain, um, how to make a substrate, and just started doing it myself in the end.
I'm curious what made you shift from doing these like simple, probably I would imagine maybe your desire to learn things and dive into stuff like you tend to do, or what it seems
Uh,
like. But yeah,
I'm
what
almost
shifted you
autistic in that
into
sense. When something, not that I am autistic, I just mean that I've never been diagnosed, but I get called it a lot. Is when
fair.
when something when I'm interested in something, I will dive deep into it, and it almost consumes me. I've always been that way. It's about everything from cars and motorbikes and stuff like that to fish tanks and fucking lizards. And but I'll go. I just I end up having to do everything. I master it and then I move on. That's how my normal hobbies have gone. But with mycology, there's just so many aspects of it that I can't seem to learn it all, and I'm never going to master it. So it's kind of got me.
Yeah, that's something I was curious about with you saying that. Kind of what really what really keeps you doing it? I mean,
Uh, the,
there's the all the new
the
information and stuff, but
what? Yeah. So grow. So originally, I started growing for. To go back on your question about growing, obviously I started growing those kits after that first time of using it. That like because I wanted to know what it was and to get it again. So I started like growing the kits to microdose, and then fucking hell, I forgot where I was going.
oh, good. Well, first of all, how long ago was that? Like,
But he's
let's
talking
what's some time frame?
5 years ago. I had my first grow about 5 years.
Got it. And then, yeah, we're talking. You're going through it, and I'm curious what made you stay in it. Why are you
Oh
still
yeah, sorry, that's
diving
where I was
deep?
going. So I started growing because I wanted to microdose, and I found that in a piece, if you like, I found something that finally just made me feel normal, but at peace. Um, and I wanted to help others be able to find that because it was something
That's
that I
fair.
never had, and I think that's what's always caught me. That's what's always kept me going. Is that it's not that I need the mushrooms because now I go 4, 5, 6 months without even thinking about it. It's just when I get that calling, it's almost like I get this. I want to say rage, but it's not. Almost like a rage or a bubbling inside me. I just get annoyed at little things. I get fucking everything just kind of pisses me off. I become ultra fucking sarcastic and to the point where it just pisses people off. And
Yeah.
I then try and do that. And this just stops me from doing that. It doesn't. And then from there, the the um the community has become my medicine and seeing everybody else and what they're getting out of it and helping other people achieve that calm within themselves because you'll see
Yeah.
me in the server a lot. Like if somebody just wants to grow for yield and they just want the biggest whatever, it kind of doesn't interest me. And I don't mean that I don't want to talk to people because of that reason or whatever. I just mean that for me to put my time and effort into helping somebody, it's got to be for reasons that are close to my heart. And I find that hard to do when someone just wants to bang out massive weight.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, which is good. Why I've got other mods that can help those people because I
For
will help
sure.
them. That's not on.
So, I mean, with that, let's go into the building of this community. Where did that start? First of all, there's something that I know and um, Shroom knows, but Platy, where does this name come from? And and then how does this name, like, where did you start online? How did you get your name? How did you come up with that? And then how did that turn into a community, something that you wanted to start doing?
So yeah, Platypus Technical. So when I joined Reddit, just as a member, they gave me the username, not a random. They just assign you a random username. They gave me Platypus Technical 875, and
Nice.
so that's what I was bouncing around in all the communities as was just Platypus Technical 875, and then I was sort of like in DMs, like I became consumed in DMs with people messaging me, asking me advice, or I'd comment on somebody's post, and then other people would message me and say that they would, I don't know, they didn't want to get taken the piss out of, or they were too shy to post in the big groups, but they wanted help with something. So I started helping people. Got to sort of like 20 people that I was helping every day in DMs. And yeah, I just thought to myself, it was just all of these people were good in their own right. They were all nice people. They were all really wanting to get into it. And some of them could do grain. They were good at it, but they were losing it on the fruiting side. And then there was people that were the other way around. So I thought, why not bring them together? And at the time, you couldn't do group chats in Reddit. So I created like a little private server. It was private for about a day, but yeah, I created like a private server, and I just called it Platypus Technical, because that was what, when I sent out the invites to the people in the DMs, that's what they knew me as. So it just made sense to kind of send it to them like that, set it up that way. And then yeah, so and I think about 10 of those people joined it. And then from there, it kind of just took off. Somebody said to me about putting it as a public thing. I thought that would be a good idea, so I did that. And then people started posting, and I started sending out invites to people, and we started growing it. And I think within 6 months, we was up to like 1,000 members. And yeah, it kind of just went from there, really. I mean, Reddit's really dead now. I don't post in there. Our Reddit, Platypus Technical Reddit, where it started, I very rarely post in there. I just find Reddit's full of people that just want to dig people out, want to tell people they're wrong, want to just find fault with shit that people are doing, and rather than help them. I mean, there's ways to do stuff. Telling people out and out that this is shit, you shouldn't be doing that, just negative, 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 negative. And they never give them a positive. You always see somebody will tell someone their stuff shit, but they'll never say, but if you did this, or have you tried this, or give them some kind of way to go to try and help them. They'd rather just call it out to say it's bullshit. I had a similar thing with, I posted that Cactus Jeff, you know, the AI video, the trailers that I've been doing. I posted
Yeah.
up, damn, those cactus people, they do not like AI. The hate messages that I got, the comments, thousands. It was just ridiculous. And you think, calm down, man. It's just, I've even commented to somebody like, calm down. It's just like, all I've done is we've been putting people on the podcast. I've taken like their logo, their profile picture, and I've put it up onto like using an AI program, took the audio from the podcast, and I've just made it into something so that those guests have got something to remember the podcast by. That's originally why I did it. It was for no other reason.
Yeah.
I like them. I think they're pretty sick, to be honest with you. Some
I
people
do
might
too.
have
They're fucking cool.
what it is. I mean, but my point was to this guy that, mate, it's a 3-minute skit. Like, you don't even need to watch it if you don't. Like, click on the link, go and listen to it. Like,
Right.
yeah, the AI has got nothing to do with the actual podcast at all. Because the amount of people that said, "Oh, I wouldn't watch this because it's got an AI trailer," and I thought, what's that got to do with the audio?
Yeah. I
But
don't know,
just
man.
madness. And apparently, because of the forestries that they're taking down and the water supply, and I was like, mate, it's a fucking podcast. Like, calm down. Do you know what I mean? It's an AI video, like, but that's what I mean by the hate. Like, Reddit is
Yeah,
just
the Reddit.
everyone hides behind a username, and all they want to do is hate on other people. And I find that's normally because they're insecure in what they're doing. Like,
So did that cause your initial shift into Discord, or did you start a server in Discord before you started
I
seeing more issues?
Yeah, so I never wanted to do Discord. It was never something I hadn't even heard of it really. I was on it because I had a couple of like gaming servers that I used to do to talk to people while I was gaming and stuff. But that was like 10 years old or whatever, that account. So I managed to log back into that. But it wasn't my idea. I had a couple of mods that they wanted to do some Q&As, and I think it was Moon Daddy actually that we had on first.
Yeah, it was.
It was, wasn't it? And
Yeah, that's correct.
yeah, so they wanted to do a Q&A with Moon Daddy. So we ended up making the Discord server, invited a few people. We held the first one. And then, yeah, that was how Discord came about. So and then once we come over to Discord, I was trying to do both, like active on Reddit, active on thing. And then in the end, I was just saying to people, like, just come over. Just everyone that was messaging me, just come over to the Discord because it's just a lot better layout. Like you can have different channels. You've got, I mean, we've got everything from cactus, cannabis, mushrooms, 3D printing. We've got obviously the stuff about my hives. The edible conversations. So you can kind of flick between each kind of channel and have multiple different conversations at the same time. Rather than in Reddit, you're just limited to commenting on somebody's photo. Like, oh, that's a nice photo. Yeah, I thought it was good too. And then you're kind of done really, because how much further do you really go once you've had a couple of comments about that? So yeah, Discord was just a better way to lay it all out, and I just kept in there doing that. It's never been something I've tried to do. Like with growing the community or the community in itself, if you like, because it was just something to bring a few people together. And then those people found comfort and found a way to grow within it. And they told more people, and more people came and they got the same effects and kind of just grown itself. I just give people a platform to talk about. And like with the channels that I was just saying, all the different channels and things that we've got going on within the server, all it is people come to me and say, like, they want a reptile channel so they can talk reptiles. Or at one point we had a taxidermy channel because I just had a member come to me and said, like, me and my missus, we do taxidermy. We'd like to post it up. And I thought, well, if you're interested in it, there's bound to be someone else who's interested in it. So fucking why not? So created a channel. And I mean, you'll see, I think we've got like, I don't know, 300 channels within PT.
Yeah, it's easy to get lost in.
Oh, there's some channels I don't go into for weeks.
Yeah. So what you're trying to say is there's an array of channels and options for everyone. It's not just mycology, cactus, cannabis, etc. You know.
Obviously, yeah, it started off as a mycology community. That's what we were, but we've kind of expanded into just I don't know what you call it anymore, to be honest with you.
Well, I'd like to think everyone's hobbies and interests, we got time for, right?
Yeah, I give my time to everyone and anyone that I can.
For sure.
I never, yeah. If I get a lot of the time, obviously, if I'm added, then I'll go into that channel. But there's sometimes I won't touch a channel until someone comments But yeah, as soon as somebody, I'm interested in other people. I'm interested in what makes people's minds tick. I'm interested in what makes someone do what they do and why they do it.
Yeah.
And I find that PT kind of gives me the ability to do that, because if I give somebody the channel and I give them the space to tell me who they are, then it's almost like I'm learning a new skill, and I can implement. I might learn something. That's what I'm all about, learning. I think you can never know everything, and what better way to learn off someone who's doing it?
I think that's the beauty with mycology, right? There's always something new to learn, or a new technique or whatever to improve on. And for me personally, I find that's why I haven't lost interest, and I like to think that's the same with you as well, P.
Well, yeah, we've had this conversation before, and how mycology, like I was saying earlier, my hobbies are master them and then I drop them. So after about a month, I've kind of, I don't know, take it, I don't know, building remote control cars or something. You build a remote control car, you take it around the track, you fucking tear it up, and you think, yeah, all right, that's all right, I fucking controlled the shit out of that. And then I've lost interest, because what do? Build another one. But if I build another one, I'm only going to go and drive around the track again, and then I'm back to the same place again. So then I moved hobby, and then I don't know, I took up fishing, and then from there, I did that for a little while. I've done that on and off for years. And then I don't know, then something else, like I don't know, BMX riding or fucking skateboarding, skating, fucking I've had so many types of hobbies. It's ridiculous. But
Well, I'm glad.
the thing with mycology is there's always something new. I said it on the podcast that we did with Summer Breeze. Was there's so many avenues that you can go down that just kind of, and every time you turn a corner, there's something else, and then there's something else, and it's just never ending. It's like a never ending rabbit hole.
Yeah, definitely. I'm glad you got sucked into it, and you're still sucked into it for now. Keep you around for as long as we can.
I'm
Um,
not going over.
so I'm curious, like, there's there's something different about PT than other servers. And it's something that I've noticed, and it's something that other people notice, and I think it's something that keeps people engaged in PT. Not that people aren't engaged in other servers and all this stuff. I'm not trying to smack talk other servers. I love a lot of them, but there's something special about PT where, and I think it comes from kind of the values that are instilled in just its creation. Um, and I'm curious what your thoughts are on that. Like, you created it from a space of wanting to help people, and kind of what is your idea or your mission behind it? What is really the idea behind PT for people?
Um, yeah, I've been asked that question a few times, and obviously, yeah, I don't want to knock any other communities or any other about. And I don't even think of PT as being better. I just think we're different.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
I think that difference comes from a couple of factors. Really, is that most servers that you go into are already those guys are vendors. They're breeding their own genetics. They've got a purpose. Is what I'm trying to say. It's a business. They're they're as much as they're building a community, they also want to sell their genetics. Whereas PT isn't like that. There's like I have got stuff up on my website for sale, um, but I don't push it. And no, at no point do I will I try and sell anything to anybody. Like half the time, I don't even put my website up. It's only really when the raffle goes up or something that yeah, it even gets mentioned. So I think that's one of the reasons because it's not so sales based, and we that I always wanted PT to be to help people get it because it's so easy and so cheap to do this hobby that when I see people buying like all in one bags and I see them buying grain bags off of people or I see them buying substrate off of people, like not everybody's got that kind of money to be able to put that in. And I just want to give them a way to be able to do it, to find that medicine for, to be able to use that medicine for themselves. I want to give them the ability to be able to do that. So PT has never been about money. It's never been, um, yeah, it's
Um,
always been about just trying to give back.
Excuse me. Yeah. So on that point, I think something that's really important, and this kind of just ties into that idea and that kind of the value of PT and its purpose, and the whole community thing is like the stuff that is on the website for sale and the raffle and these things have a
It all,
purpose.
and it all goes, so everything that is bought off of the PT website, so the raffle or the giveaway or the 3D printed stuff that I do, I take the cost of filament when I do 3D printed stuff, but that's it. Everything else, any profit goes straight back into the community. Even with the clothing or the sliders and stuff like that, it's the profit off of any of that, anything that is sold goes straight back into the community. I'm fortunate enough that me and my wife have both got good jobs, and uh, I, yeah, it's not something that we need. So I'm in a position where I could give it back to other people. So off of that, with the raffles and the giveaways, I think we're up to 5 flow hoods that we've given away. Off of like it's now called the quarterly giveaway. But then countless genetics. We've given away pressure cookers, um, just an array of stuff that people would normally have to save for, but they could buy. Like we've been doing the 2x2 flow hoods. I think they're about 250, maybe £300 to buy them. So, and that's something that somebody might have to save up for, I don't know, 6, 7 months, 8 months to a year. That's even if they can. I mean, there's been times in my life where trying to save for anything isn't possible because you've got mouths to feed and you've got a roof to keep over your head. So, and yeah, I want these people to succeed. I want them to get better. I want them to be the best they can, and so why not give it back to them?
Yeah, I think maybe that's kind of what I was trying to get out was that right there. This server is sole purpose is to help people succeed, and things like the raffle, the bi-monthly and the quarterly, and is is so that people can get bigger ticket items or get genetics and stuff like this. And it's all community driven. It's everybody helping each other out, and maybe you get your big ticket item you've been looking for in the quarterly. But then also all the people that, I think, because that's the core of the community, that it draws people in, that's their focus in the server, is helping each other out, and sharing information. And
Yeah, I agree with that. You'll find that there's not really many conversations within PT where people are talking about where they can get genetics, because as soon as someone says, "Have you heard of? Has anyone seen Coke F9, or has anyone seen the green cap thrashers, or whatever it is that they're looking for?" You will always see someone straight up and say, "I've got that. I'll send it to you." And
yeah,
I think a lot of that comes from what I put into it in the beginning. So, I mean, when PT first started, uh, anybody that came in and wanted genetics or was trying to get started, I'd post it to them. And whether they was in the US, whether they was in India, Australia, wherever it was, I'd just post it out. And then obviously and all I've ever asked is people will come to me and say, like, I've had people trying to pay me and stuff like that, like for my time, helping them learn to grow. And all I ever ask for in return is, the next time somebody asks you for help or asks you for advice, just pay it forward. If they need genetics, send them some genetics. If they just need advice, give them advice. That's all I ask, is that the next person, just give it to them.
I'd also like to chime in on that. So I've known Platy for around 3 or so years now. Originally through Reddit, he reached out to me.
Uncle Ben's, that was.
Through Uncle Ben's, that's it. Yeah, he seen me giving everyone grief in there, and then he asked me to join the PT server. I was, funny enough, I was actually one of the first members to win one of your giveaways, if you remember, Platy.
I think you was, yeah.
Yeah, you gave me a bunch of genetics, and you really helped kickstart my mycology journey. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I remember you was doing Uncle Ben's bags, but you was breaking it out and putting it into Ziploc tech
Yeah, I was
when
doing
I first
Ziploc
met you.
tech. Yeah, but funny enough, uh, you were the one who convinced me to buy an instant pot and start making my own grains. It took me 3 attempts, if you remember.
I do, yeah, I do remember.
Yeah, because I was not surprised. I was messaging you on the daily, asking for advice. But not once did you ever get tired or ignorant towards my questions. You know what I mean? You were always there, willing to help, and uh, help me get farther in this hobby.
But that's what it's about, and I mean, you can
Exactly.
testify to that. Anything you've tried, even in the beginning, you tried to buy genetics and stuff like that, or just to put money back into it.
Yeah.
And all I ever asked you to do was just to send it out to somebody else.
Or nowadays, you know what I mean? Like it's the same with me. I'll happily send anyone in the UK a care package. I don't expect postage or money for these genetics or anything. But what I do ask is, if you can, I'm not saying you have to, but if you can make a donation towards the war chest, that helps greatly. Do you know what I mean? And you touched on it earlier as well. None of those proceeds go into any of our pockets. It just purely helps fuel the giveaways and the prizes towards the next raffles. Do you know what I mean? It's all for the members and the community.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I want to get, is that PT becomes self-sufficient in itself. So with the grow
Yeah.
along and stuff that we do at the moment, obviously Miss B, she put out the machete stuff over in the US.
He did. Shout out me as well. She helped out mega with that.
Yeah, and she wouldn't take any. She didn't want any money for sending anything out. She sent that all out at her own cost. She's made all those plates at her own cost.
Yeah.
And obviously, we covered the ones over in the UK, and none of us ever want anything back. We've got a good mod team now, and all I would say the same similar mindset to what I've got, where it's all about just giving back. And yeah, so but eventually that's where I was going with it, was that it becomes self-sufficient in itself, where the money that is in the war chest does pay for that stuff to go out to other members, and does help cover costs, because it shouldn't always come down to 3 or 4 of us that are putting in that.
Yeah,
Five,
definitely.
I think 5 of us.
Yeah.
I think
I think
the first flow hood that we ever gave away as PT on Reddit. I was convinced by my mods to do it as a raffle. We sold X amount of tickets, or we have X amount of tickets there for sale, and obviously we advertised it and we did it, and I think we sold 10 raffle tickets, and obviously, but off the back of that, I'd already promised this flow hood. So the first flow hood was pretty much, I mean, bar, I don't know, 50 quid or something. I fronted the money myself, and just, because I'd promised it. So as far as I was concerned, I had to give it out. And
Yeah.
that's how it's always been then. So since then, that's how it's been. But then that's how come the raffle winnings or the raffle has gone to bi-monthly. So there's 2 months. They're every 2 months, and then that kind of gives us enough time to build up that war chest for the community.
it's awesome. Honestly, that's one of the reasons. One of the I noticed this stuff in this kind of culture of PT, of paying things forward, and uh, it's one of the things that really drew me into it. It got me really involved in it, and then also, um, I don't know, just made me want to dive into it, and then also having the same mindset. I think that's something that is grown in the community, because you come in and you see people that are just like you said. You come in, you're like, hey, anybody know where I could find this genetic, or who should I hit up for this? And there's always a couple of people, oh, I've got it, send me your address, I'll post it to you, whatever. I think that kind of stuff is what has built the community, uh, and that kind of those values to it. I wanted to move into um, the growth and how it's grown, and like, first of all, how long has it been a Discord server?
I think we was looking the other day when we was talking about it in the server, in the chilling chat, and I think it's 3.5 years on Reddit, and we're 2 years in Discord.
Been 2 years in Discord. We've just gotten over 1,000 members, which is, I think,
just hit
huge.
over 1,000.
It's a big deal for an underground, like, community like this, where it's like a application to get in, all that kind of stuff. So I think that's fucking awesome. But what are some things along the way that have been, maybe what are the more challenging things that you've seen, as the founder of it and trying to grow it and do all this stuff? What are the more challenging things you've faced?
Um, oh, what a question. Uh, I think one of the biggest challenges that I've faced is getting other people to understand, and myself in the beginning, was that everybody's different, and not everybody's going to have the same mindset. And that was, when we was talking about the servers earlier, or what makes PT different, is that I said there was two options. I only gave one earlier, but the second thing that I had on that was that exact thing. Really, there's a lot of servers that you go into. I find their mindset is all the same as the server owner, um, because they're learning from them. I get it. Like, they look up to them. It's what's it, but it it builds a one track mindset, and anybody that goes against that, there becomes like a friction and a bounce, and you can't do that. And then that's where that you can't do this. You got to do it this way. That's where that mentality comes from. And I kind of struck that out in the early stages of PT, because as far as I'm concerned, I've been not been doing it for fucking mega years like a lot of these people. But what I have learned is that everybody grows differently. There is no one way to grow, and it's the same as us as people. There's no one right way to do life, and that's the same with mycology. There's more than one way to skin a cat, and give people the space to say why they do something, and give someone else the space to say why they think they shouldn't. Like, have a conversation about it. Don't use it, so don't just let it shut down a conversation shut down because you turn around and say you can't do this. Like, you'll always see me, if somebody says that, you'll always see me come back and say, why? Have you tried it the other way? And I'll turn it round into a conversation, rather than just turning it down into rather than just shutting down that whole situation, or letting people get heated, because then it starts getting heated. Other people that like other people, they then jump in and want to say they're two pennies worth. Then the other person's got some mates in the server, and now they're jumping in to defend them, and it's becoming a shit show. And you're like, just calm down a second, because I've seen both of your grows, and you're both putting out bangers. So to say that the other person is wrong, you must be fucking mind shot, because you can clearly see their results. So why aren't you talking to each other and seeing what you're doing differently? And maybe you might learn something, because that's what I do. I'll see somebody talking about, like peptone or erythritol or whatever it is. And rather than shut a conversation down, I'll just say, I'll do that as a side by side. I'll run 2 tubs with erythritol, and I'll run 2 tubs without it. Same genetics, same whatever. And we'll see what the difference is. And it's the same with my LC. It's the same with the the grain that I do. Anything. Somebody will give me advice and say, "Oh, maybe," or whether they give it to me or I just see them post it, and I kind of think maybe that might work for me. I tried a new no soak, no simmer this couple of weeks ago, because someone suggested it, and yeah, it didn't work out, but it is what it is. At least I know.
Yeah. I think that's another really cool thing about it is the server in general is, you know, when I first came in, there wasn't a ton of side by side stuff, but I had seen your channel. I think it's Platy's Lab or something like that, where you had done some side by sides, and I was like, oh, damn, this is good, because I'm new to this, I don't know jack shit. And I would argue that I still don't, but
Neither do
I
I.
see
Don't worry about it.
I see you do that, and then I hear all this different information, and I was like, okay, well, now I want to do side by side, because I got this person saying that, this person saying that, and the idea stemmed from PT, from you, and then I see other people doing it as well in the community, and I think and then sharing those side by sides in the community, in
Yeah,
the
that's what it's
server.
about. It's not just about doing the side by side. It's about sharing it and showing others what the results that you did get.
Yeah, so that everybody else can see, oh, okay, this worked for them, this didn't work for them, but it's
Also,
also something they could try.
I'd like to chime in as well. obviously what works for you might not work for everyone else as well. So that's something to bear in mind. Do you know what I mean?
There's so many variables, and that's what it kind of just irritates me when somebody comes in and they shut something down without even considering it or trying it. That's my biggest gripe. Is that when I
Right.
ask someone, like, somebody will start going into something, you can't do this, you shouldn't have done that, and I go, yeah, but have you ever tried it? Have you ever actually done it? And it's funny because everybody, all of these people, they're always adamant that you can't do something, but none of them have ever fucking tried it. And I wonder, are you going through life with that mindset? Because if you
Mhm.
are, you're only setting yourself up for failure.
Don't knock it till you try it, right?
Yeah, that's the old saying, don't knock it till you try it. Like, if you've tried it and you thought it was shit, fine. You thought it was shit, it didn't work for you. Great. Like, let's move on. Let's try something else, see if that's shit. We'll see if it
Mhm.
works.
Um, yeah, no, 100%, dude. I kind of I love this. I want to also shift forward a little bit, and I'm curious, just kind of talking still about the growth and the journey of PT. Are there any like surprised or unexpected moments within the journey of PT? Like somebody joined the server that you were like, oh shit, or I don't know, anything that you're like, just unexpected moments.
I think Mycelial Madness agreeing to come on the podcast because I'd followed him for. I remember setting up PT, and I think Mycelial joined. Um, Maybe we was a couple of months in, and I remember seeing that crack and grow that he did. And then from there, I followed everything he did after that point. I was always keeping an eye out for his stuff, just because it's different. He's just got this. It's almost like a rawness about it. It's just something different about his stuff. And then yeah, so when he agreed to come on the podcast, I was stoked that yeah, I wanted to pick his brain because I love a mutation.
Yeah, hell
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
But I think yeah, we've had a few when 92nd and PGT when they joined. Obviously, they've been doing this for mega years, and I've watched all their videos, and so yeah, that was like an oh shit moment. Like Jesus, what the fuck?
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, I'll say it. I don't know, for myself, I've only been PT for a year, but just having like, I've said it before, but finding myself in this position and doing these podcasts, having the opportunity to talk to all and anybody on this is it's always unexpected. It doesn't feel real most of the time. Having Dickie on here, being able to talk to him, like there's a lot of really cool stuff. All comes from this and what you've created and the podcast. Now to
That's
that,
what, that's what I like about the podcast is that we're kind of it gives these guys a space so that all of these guys that are breeding their own genetics and making the space what it is. Um, it gives other members a chance to hear their stories, see what they're about, and make a decision as to whether you like somebody, whether you agree with their methods of madness or you don't. But yeah, it gives everybody the opportunity to see what people are about. And like I
yeah,
said to you
form
earlier,
your own.
me finding what makes people tick that's what interests me.
Yeah. Now, um, moving forward to today. So you started growing. You got into Reddit. You know, started this little group, turned into this thing, and then here we are. Um, where we're at today. What do you think you're most proud of with where this has come?
I think the biggest achievement that PT has done is maybe the giveaways. I think the giveaways and also just the sharing between yourselves and between everybody. like trading between or just giving out, or just the attitude and the mentality that our members have got is, I think that's what I'm most proud of. I never thought PT was going to be anything. Yeah, I thought it was going to be like almost like a private group chat, or a public group chat, if you like, because we turned it public. But never did I think that we'd get more than 20 members. And then when, now that we've broke that 1,000, like every day I'm just blown away by the generosity of the other members and seeing their journeys. That I don't have any expectations. I think that's what makes it good, or that's what makes PT work, is that there are no expectations. I kind of go with the flow.
With that, I'm curious because I have had conversations with you and Shroom and the other mods and whatnot. I'm curious, or if there's some things that you would want to share with anybody listening for the future of PT. I know you kind of go with the flow and things like that, but you're also, whether you want to admit it or not, kind of a mastermind of things. I know you are a visionary dude. And I know you've got some thoughts and ideas and places it could go, and that maybe you want it to go. Is there any of that you want to share with people? Like, what do you see for the future?
Yeah, I suppose my mind's always ticking on what we can do next and what would work and what wouldn't. And I play things through for months before I'll put something into play. As much as I do go with the flow, I've always got something ticking in the background. But that whatever's ticking in the background will eventually pop up. And then that's what I mean by I go with the flow. If it works, it doesn't. If it does, it does. But ultimately, I'd like to see PT. I don't know. I don't know where it's going. I really don't. Maybe a PT meetup. I think if anything, that would probably be my
Fuck yes.
that would
Oh yeah.
probably be my one thing that I'd like to see. And I think if I was going to do it, I think I'd have to do it in the US. Just because that's where, I don't know, 70% of our members are
Yeah.
is in the US. So, but yeah, I'd like to meet people, and I'd like to. We talk to each other daily. Like I speak to
Yeah.
some of you guys more than I speak to like fucking family members, or
Fact.
you know what I mean, or even my wife sometimes. so, so yeah, it'd be good to put a face to a username and actually get to know people on that level.
hmm I can confirm that I've met 2 or 3 people within this server within the UK, and everyone's really good people. I consider them family. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. Well, you've been here, you've stayed here, so
Yeah, yeah. I've
oh
literally
yeah,
yeah,
you do.
I've stayed at Platy's house. So yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I think, uh, do you? I think moving forward with this, what is some advice that you have for anyone coming into the hobby? Any newcomers?
Into mycology,
Yeah.
would do your research. Um, research, because I think if I can just sort of sidestep, but I'll come back. I think what people should understand is that psychedelics aren't for everybody. Like, not everybody should take them. Not everybody should grow them, and it's understanding what they're going to do to you, or the potential that they can do to you, and whether or not you've got a mindset that is open enough to be able to master it, because it can be a struggle sometimes. It's not all people come into the server and they want to grow mushrooms, they want but that's all they're thinking of, and there's no thought into the 3 months later, once they finally got some fruits, or however long it is. And I've seen the spiral come in so many forms. and I've really tried to help people get back from that. Like I've had guys spiral. I had some guy create a PT religion, which was wild. And
That's that's
and
pretty.
it's, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, and but that spiral was just insane. And I was in like we was talking to each other like, and every day, and I could see the spiral even before this PT religion thing come out. And I was saying to him, you need to calm yourself down. Like he's the fruits were growing, and he was just before they'd even opened their veils, he was just picking them and eating them, and it just and he was going, I'm getting no visuals, I'm getting no visuals. And I was trying to say to him that it's working in the background, regardless of whether you're getting visuals. Like, if you want to trip and you want to just see shit, like, this isn't the hobby for you. Um, you need to go find some fucking acid or some 2CB or something like that. Like, this, it's a lot deeper than just that. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I would pass on to new people coming into it is to do your research, listen to the audio books, or read the books that guys have dedicated their lives to writing, because they haven't done that for no reason. There is something special within mushrooms and mycology, and if you really want to get into it, then just slow yourself down before you grow anything, and just understand what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, same here.
Shroom, what do you have any, what, did I miss anything? You've been around for a long time. You've been around Platy for a long time and with PT for a long time. I imagine maybe you have some things, or did I miss anything? Is there any questions you got for him?
Honestly, bro, I think you've hit the nail on the hammer right so far. Yeah, no follow up questions on my end right now. I'm just chiming in, and you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, awesome. Um, well, Platy, what about with this podcast? What is something that you hope listeners can take away from it? Maybe not just this one in particular, but the podcast in general. What's
Yeah.
some things you hope people can take away?
But we've kind of touched on it already. Is that the reason why I want to get the podcast in itself? It started off sort of kind of mycology based, but we've had a cactus one, we've had a cannabis one, we've got future plans to get uh, like shamans and stuff like that on, so that people can kind of do what I'm suggesting already, which is do your research, like listen to these podcasts, like hear these guys' stories. This is why you'll always hear me during a podcast ask somebody like, what is it that got you into, like how did it grip you? What you asked me, what was it that started your journey? And the reason why I try and get that in there is so that they can hear other people's perceptions of it, and hopefully those people will become open enough to talk about those first journeys, or those microdosing moments where something just kind of clicked into place. Because that's the part that I don't think isn't spoken about enough within any of the mycology servers. Everybody talks about tripping, which is, I hate it as a term, but everybody talks about that, but nobody talks about the potential life changing decisions and life changing events that are going to come from it, and it's not spoken about enough.
I
So,
think that sorry, go ahead.
no, go on, man.
I was going to say, I think that maybe that is something that's hard to put into words, especially through text, and maybe it's something that would be good to be able to dive more into with the podcast. That's yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to go deeper on that side of it, because growing mushrooms is great, and the there's obviously the guys that we have on, they're so advanced in what they do, which is great, and I love hearing that. But that part interests me, but not as much as how they got to where they are or what they get from it. That's the
Yeah.
part that really interests me. What is it that integrated in their life that, or that they changed in their life, or that mushrooms changed for them that just made their life easier? Because my life was hard. I've had a fucking shit life growing up and stuff. And yeah, it just, for me, it just, I mentioned it earlier, I found that inner peace. And from there, everything just kind of started clicking into place and just made sense. Like even the way people act and react, like I understand that more now. So it just makes my everyday life easier.
Would you like to touch a little bit on the health benefits psilocybin has had for you, Platy? Whether that's microdosing or those large doses that help you get through however long until you next get that feeling. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so I'm lucky that I got my wife. She she's been great through all of this. Not that she not that she wanted me to get into it, but she's been great through it. So like when I
Mhm.
was microdosing, for example, I thought I was microdosing. I wasn't. I was macrodosing. And but like I said, research. Like I'd research loads, and I still fuck that up. And
Mhm.
um, so yeah, I took some advice off of somebody, and he said start it this way. I think I'll tell you how he started, and this is just some guy that I met on a fucking Reddit page. It might have been it's something to do with microdosing. It might have been microdosing Reddit or whatever it was. And they these guys they suggested to me, oh, do you take a gram on the night before you go to bed? Then when you get up, you do a 0.5, and then you do a 0.5 every day for 5 days. Then you take a break for I think it was 5 days. And well, I ended up doing. I didn't do the 0.5s. I did 0.8s. So I did a gram when to bed. That was fucking ropey. And then when got up, did like a 0.8, did that for like 5 days. Fucking, I've done so many different schedules on it, but what it did for me was it it helped me put away some past traumas that I had or have, or I don't know. I haven't got them anymore. I don't think. But it helped me put those to bed, and it kind of helped me understand myself because I was just winging. I wing it now, but I was just going through life like head down, fucking going to work, clocking in, coming home, dealing with everyday life outside of work, and it gets heavy. And it just helped me understand myself better and how I tick and how I operate and why I got mad and stuff the way that I did. I had a breakdown about 10 years ago, and then I don't remember. There was like I lost like 6 months of just my life. Really, just I don't remember any of it. I was going through life through the motions, but I couldn't tell you what happened during those 6 months. And eventually, one day, it just all came to a head. I ended up blowing up. My wife said, "You either need to get help or leave." And yeah, so I went to therapy. I did all that. I didn't really. Um, I suppose it helped in a sense. But then, yeah, 5 years later, I took some mushrooms. I found that inner peace, and that gripped hold of me. And from there, it's just made my whole life easier. I just found this flow state that just works, and I feel like I can take on any challenge with it.
And what are you doing now? So, from conversations with you, you were microdosing. Maybe you're not anymore. You said that you go 5, 6 months now
Yeah,
without.
I go through stages. So I've done different forms of microdosing and what's it? But I eventually I started microdosing, and then I ended up doing. I ended up stretching out doses, but doing higher ones. So I was doing like say like a 0.8 on a Wednesday, and then I'd go like till a Saturday, and I'd do a gram, and then I'd wait till the Wednesday, and I'd do a 0.8, and then I'd do a gram on a thing, and I did stuff like that. Eventually, I stretched those days out, and I realised that all I really need to do is I started doing the heavier doses. So then on a Friday, I wouldn't do anything all week, and on a Friday night, I'd do like, I don't know, 5 to 8 grams or something like that. And that would last me a week, and I'd feel good. Everything just, like I said, that flow state, I just felt good for a week. And then I'd go, and then I'd do it again on a Friday night. So it became almost like a ritual, if you like. It was like every Friday. And then I started stretching that out. So then I went, I'd go 2 weeks, and then I started going like 3 weeks. Yeah, and now I just do it when I feel that calling now. So I never take anything less than 5. And because I found that 5 is, regardless of whether it's potent, if it's not potent, 5 will get me there. And if it is potent, I'm still going to get there, plus go a few extra steps. So, which in any case is where I wanted to be. So that's how come that's why I do that. You'll see me talking about that in the chat. People say to me, "What do you test them at?" And obviously, I don't suggest that other people test at that. Like, if you're going to test it, start at a 0.5 or a gram and see how you feel on it and what have you. But I've just got to that stage where I know where I want to go and I know what I want. So there's no point in me growing a new mushroom and trying a 0.5 of it to see how strong it is, because I know if I take 5, it'll tell me how strong it is.
Touching on that, Snape, for example, did you take 5 gram of that for your first try, and did that just blow you out of the park, or
I think it was 7. I think I did 7.
7 grams of Snape?
I think so. Yeah, I think that was 7.
That's crazy, bro.
But yeah, that's a monster.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was gonna say. We're like, so for me, for example, I've constantly got so many different things to try. I usually start around the 2 gram ratio. Like when I first grew the Omni Blue Wave, for example, I don't think I could just take 5 grams of that straight away. Do you know what I mean?
See, I did. But it was weird when I did that Omni. I remember sitting in the garden and I was looking over there. This is in the old house, and there's a tree in next door thing, and I could feel the roots of the tree. Like, I'm just sat. I'm talking like, I don't know, 20, 30 feet away from me. But it was like they were stretching out towards me, and then it was almost like this connection with a fucking tree. I don't know. It was such a bizarre thing, and then I kind of just laid back with my eyes closed, and I just disappeared. But that's where I like to go. Is that place, and that's what I think everybody's talking about. You know, when people talk about heaven and I don't know, all these different names that they might have for heaven, it's all that same place. And if you've ever taken, I don't know, 5 to 10 grams of mushrooms, then you'll know what I'm talking about. But there becomes this time when you lay down with your eyes closed, maybe a little bit of music because it helps ground that anxiety. But you go to this place, it's just pure bliss. It's almost like you're just floating, and that's where I go, and I think that's where everybody else goes. But I think that's what they're talking about when they're talking about heaven or nirvana or whatever it is that they're talking about. All these different religions, they're all talking about the same thing. They're all talking about the same place. It's just that I don't have a religion.
So after going there and going to that place, how does that help you? Like, how do you think that affects you and helps you for the weeks or months after?
Was what I find helps is when you do those higher doses, it's not pure bliss. The whole journey. Anybody that's done it is the whole journey isn't pure bliss.
Right.
It's a battle. It can be an absolute fucking battle, and you've got to be really headstrong, and your mindset has got to be in the right place. And that fight, and I like to smoke weed with it as well, so that brings like a really intense feeling towards it. and in it, and it can almost be like your brain's being pulled in two different directions. But what I like is I like that battle and I like that struggle, because I get through that night, and if you can get through that, you can get through the next week, or you can get through the next 2 weeks, and it helps me understand myself better.
Yeah, I get that. I also get that it can be hard to find the language to describe it.
Yeah, I'm better with writing. My brain works too fast for my mouth.
I feel that, dude. I totally feel that. Um, cool, man. I don't know. I super appreciate you hopping on and doing this. I know you're a little bit avoidant, not really avoidant, but
I
I don't
wouldn't have
know.
said avoidant.
No, not avoidant. That's not a good word.
Oh, no, the football game was absolutely dead as well. So don't worry about that, Plat. You didn't miss anything.
Fair enough.
It's still 0-0.
Was it really?
Well, I don't know, man. Thank you.
No,
I
I've
appreciate
enjoyed
you doing
talking
it.
to you.
I
I've
I
enjoyed
think
answering
it's awesome.
questions. A lot of this stuff I haven't spoken about to anybody. So, yeah, I've
Yeah,
enjoyed.
I think it's
I
good that
love
the
it.
people get to hear this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what people thought of it.
Yeah. No, I'm glad that people get to see who is behind it, who's, the cult leader that's not a cult, and what your mindset is, and hopefully it dispels any kind of thoughts that people have made up in their minds, whether good or bad or whatever. They can get an actual slightly better understanding of you and why this exists.
But
um,
PT in general exists. That was one thing that we didn't touch on earlier. Was the obviously I was Platypus Technical 875 when we came over to Discord. Uh, that was when I became Psycho Platy. And then from there, because Platypus Technical has never been me, Platypus Technical has always been the members. It just didn't make sense for me to run with the same name as the thing, as the actual server itself, because it's the people that show up every day. But like there's guys that we've got within our server that, regardless of what they're going through in their own lives, they are there every day. They show up every day to help the next person. So yeah, PT belongs to them.
yeah, I love that, man. I think that's a beautiful thing to close on. um what are your socials? And I don't know, this is normally something I would ask other people and then shout out the server itself, but for you, maybe Instagrams, any kind of shout outs or anything you want to do?
Yeah, so well, at the minute, I think my main Instagram got nuked. So I'm running on PT. I think it's pt.platy, and I've also got platy.pt. And then the website is psychoplaty.com. Yeah, I don't know, and I
Yeah.
just want to thank everyone for coming along and listening, and hopefully you'll understand what PT is about and why we're here and what we're trying to give everybody.
What we're trying to build and achieve. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Exactly that.
And for anyone listening that is not in the server already, um, thanks for listening. And feel free to join the server, Platypus Technical on Discord, and come hang out with us. You got a lot of really awesome people. Just want to help each other out. So thanks again, Platy. Thanks, Shroom, for popping in, helping out, and thank you everybody in the audience for joining in, keeping this chat alive, talking, doing your guys' thing. yeah, thank you guys. We appreciate you all.
Yeah,
Thank you,
shout out
everyone.
everyone.
Thanks a lot, everyone, for coming. Take care.
Awesome. Awesome speaking with you, Platy.
And you guys.
Hey, take it easy, man.
Take it easy.